It's 5:30 on Wednesday. I hope everyone's sitting down. Welcome everybody. It's episode 109 of Prep Talk Live. We made it. We're here. Tup is here. I'm
Yeah.
here. And as we say, I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. And joining me as usual is Tup the Urban Prepper. Tup, what's going on? What's happening? Welcome to Wednesday.
It kind of stuck up on me. I got my prepper shirt on, so we're ready to go in this one.
Well, and you have your actual concrete background.
Yeah, that's real concrete back there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're very secure right now.
I'm in a Atlas survival shelter bunker, just so everyone knows. No, things are going good. Cranking out videos, trying to get the kids involved. Reorganizing certain things. All in all, pretty good.
Yeah,
I got kicked out of I did that the Costco video, and I filmed at four or five different Costco's for that video, and one of them they asked me not to film out there. So
really?
Yeah.
Now, were you using your phone or were you using your?
I was using the
Osmo.
Yeah, I was using the Osmo, and they didn't like that. So then I switched over to phone. Now I have a better system, basically. So
you have to be a little more gray man when you go into the Costco.
Yeah. But then the other ones, like I was using the Osmo with the microphone and having like all that stuff. But I think it was just this one that didn't appreciate it. But now I have I have the phone, and I have like my paper, and it looks like I'm doing, but it's really I'm getting that B-roll footage.
Yeah, exactly. Now, because when I do my Costco video, I've gone back and forth of like sometimes I would just film the things and then go back and do the voiceover at the end, so it was a little more discreet. And then other times I've actually like done the voice and the video at the same time.
Yeah, I'm doing almost all like voiceovers like separately, just because then it's a little cleaner and I could edit it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I don't often get kicked out of. I didn't get kicked out, but I was asked not to.
I got asked not to film at a Whole Foods once.
Yeah.
But they were mostly concerned with filming other people. Like they didn't want any other shoppers to be
I was
videoed.
like, I'm filming this this corned beef can. you know, like.
Yeah, what do you think is happening by me filming the corned beef? Am I going to visually steal it? It's on the website. It's not a secret that you have.
Yeah. So anyway, now I have to be more. Now I know I have to be more gray man for all my filming, because I'm doing another video kind of similar. I'm just trying to get that B-roll footage for that one, but I have to be now more discreet. So the Osmo I could only do for certain shots, and then but these iPhones, they take such good videos nowadays, you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah, no, I think that was especially with iPhone. If you're shooting in like 4K, like it doesn't really matter. I was actually worried that the Osmo would be less quality than my iPhone, but it's actually like very comparable.
You're doing 4K on yours, cool. Yeah, I'm just doing old school.
Yeah, no, I always do. I have my phone set always to 4K. I think it's 4K 60. Okay. Just because I can always downgrade it later, but if I want to upgrade it. And also there was a period of time where I had heard that YouTube was giving preference to 4K video because they were trying to launch 4K as a feature. And so if your video was in 4K, it would get a little bit of a bump in the algorithm from that. Yeah. I don't know that I actually ever saw that happen or work for me, but that's maybe. Just the way that it.
I see Daniel's on and find.
Yeah.
I don't think they like you filming in that restroom. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
I like Chuck had a good dark brown McDonald's cup is perfect. Yeah, because I have to film this one. It's for a different video, and I have to go down one of the unsafe streets for it. But I don't want to be there with my Osmo because I don't want to get robbed for it. So I'm trying to figure out discreet filming for it, and maybe the cup is the way to go.
Or I wonder if you could could you put it like in your shirt pocket?
I was wondering that, kind of like a body cam.
Yeah, like put your phone in there, or get I don't know, like one of the waterproof, they make like the waterproof pouches for
Yeah.
phones and stuff. You kind of put it in that maybe, and I mean, it would still be super obvious that like you had your phone out, but um,
Yeah. Oh,
maybe it would seem a
these are
little
these are the
more
things that
distracting.
we have to figure these things out.
Yeah. Um, so I had a little Chat GPT project
Yeah.
that I'm working on. So I got an ad, and I'm gonna give a shout out to the product because they called it Prepper Deck. It's the let's make like a uh, Raspberry Pi hard drive thing that has Prepper information on it. So I don't know that they're the only one that makes it. I think you can probably find them other places. I know there's other projects that are going on, but I saw their ad, so I don't want to claim this as my own idea. We've also talked about this a lot of time. Don't sue me, bro. Is what I'm saying to Prepper Deck. But what I did was I took kind of they had the list of like the sources of information that they had, and they're kind of a lot of them were similar ones to ones we've talked about. It's the Kiwix, Wikipedia,
Yeah.
and some of that sort of stuff. It's all publicly available data. There's nothing there that's private or licensed or anything like that. But they had like the list, and then they had kind of the different options for their product. It was like two different types of Raspberry Pis and that sort of stuff. It was very clean, very straightforward. Um, but I was kind of like, okay, using this information, how could I take that and blend it with some of the projects I'm already working on with like the family repository, with putting AI on a Raspberry Pi? Like, how could I do all that sort of stuff? So I took all of that and I put that in ChatGPT, and I was like, hey, based on this, like, how would I construct this? And assume I'm very not intelligent as it relates to hardware or anything. Like, how would I put this together? And then what could I improve off of it? If I'm not trying to, obviously they're trying to kind of mass produce it and keep it at a price point. If I don't care what the price point is, I don't care what the thing is. I want it to do all the cool stuff. Then how would I kind of take this and run with it? And it was a very interesting. I tend to chat with ChatGPT in the middle of the night when I have these ideas and I can't sleep, and it helps me kind of feel like I'm making progress even if I'm not. Um, but it was very interesting because it gave me hardware recommendations. It gave me ways of, different things of how to put AI, LLMs onto it and which ones it would recommend
Cool.
for, this sort of a purpose. And so I started to kind of work with it and build it on my home hard drive NAS backup system to be like, okay, could we use that as a test prototype server, get all the data, the information, get it set up, everything else, and then we'll worry about making it modular and mobile, either on USB or with Raspberry Pi or something like that. So it was very interesting. I got about half of the data that Prepper Deck had. So they have obviously spent a lot of time getting more information than I was able to get in kind of one fail swoop. So I got to figure out how to do some more of that. But it was really interesting to kind of start to think about, okay, how would you take that and then run with it, and how a Chat GPT or another AI can kind of help you construct all of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I do similar talks with it late at night, like where
Mhm.
my wife's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm talking to ChatGPT. Leave me alone. Like,
Last night, my wife was like, "Are you talking to Chat GPT?" It was like 11:30. Are you having a conversation with Chat GPT? And I was like, "Yes, I'm trying to merge the kids' calendars together from the school calendars into our calendar and get rid of redundancies and all of that."
yeah,
He was like, "Okay, go to bed."
yeah, yeah. No, I think it'll probably solve all the stuff that you need, and like, it's pretty impressive. I find that like when I'm commuting to work now, I'm talking to my phone's note app, and I'm just having it transcribe what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, uh, like I did one today on the way to work about glow sticks because I did a power outage video, and then people were commenting,
Hmm.
you shouldn't open the glow sticks like that because it's gonna. There, some of them are brittle and they'll leak all over the place. So then I'm like, oh crap, I didn't know that. So I gotta ask ChatGPT, hey, what's the shelf life of plastic for glow sticks? And then and so I'm just like having this conversation with my thing with my notes app. Then I import it up to ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, would this be a good video? And yes, this would be great because so I'm having full on conversations. And then I heard it in the news this week that uh, OpenAI is like, hey, don't quit saying please and thank you to the AI. Like,
Yes.
it's costing us millions of dollars, but I still do it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm like, thank you very much. Like, please do that. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like when Alexa gets on a roll and like
Yeah,
it's out of sync with your voice, and so it's responding to the last thing that you said, but you're already saying something else, and then it gives you the wrong answer, and you swear at Alexa and call it names and things. And then it will respond back to you and be like, "That's uncalled for. Like,
yeah.
you don't need to do that. Like, we can be friends or something." Feel like the same thing with ChatGPT. I'm
Yeah,
like, let's be
I'm
nice.
usually pretty polite with it, but they want you to be like rude and direct and like, no, you're doing it wrong, and and not to say thank you. Like it's
Scream at it. Tell it it can't have dinner. Like, yeah.
yeah,
It is really interesting the amount of I I find. I mean, just in our when we have our live stream and our like, we come up with tons of ideas, and there's always this kind of feeling about like, okay, we come up with a great idea, but like, what do you do next? Like, how do you actually take that idea and turn it into something? Because everybody comes up with great ideas, but like, how do we do anything with it? And I think you and I run into like we just don't have time. Like with kids and work and everything else, like there just isn't time to take every idea that we have
there's
and push it to a point of figuring out whether it makes sense to continue to do it or to just shelve it.
we could there's a tool called make.com. I don't know if you've looked at it,
Yes.
but we could have it so every time that a Prep Talk Live video goes out, it downloads the transcript, it copies
Mhm.
it over to ChatGPT, it has it summarized and figured out the action items. It sends us both an email, and then we could keep track of all those kind of things. Like we'll have this run, and also let's update this Google Sheets with the ideas that came from these videos. We could probably go
All
back
right.
and review
Don't
all of them.
threaten me with a good time.
I
Like
think that'd be
that.
cool.
Yes. So I've been trying to do it with, I had Zapier, and then they came up with Make, and Make does all kinds of
Makes
cool stuff.
crazy.
And so I'm trying to figure their pricing structure is a little different. So I'm trying to kind of figure out like, okay, which one would make sense for because like a lot of times it's like take a Prep Talk Live episode and break it down, take the transcript, come
Yeah.
up with the videos, like do all that sort of stuff. And I think that would be really cool because especially the way that we tend to package our Prep Talk Live episodes, I don't spend a lot of time like coming up with unique thumbnails and titles. Like it's pretty much the same every time. So no one would really know like what we were
It'd be
talking
cool if
about.
like the AI said these guys are rambling for like 20 minutes and then they finally talk about this.
I have run some of our old episodes through like chat gpt like the transcript things, and they're like they talked about t-shirt designs and then they did this, and so
Yeah.
it would be interesting to see how that would work now, and if there are some ways with these kind of AI agents and things that we could take those ideas and make them
Yeah, we have the
more
technology for
accessible.
it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was looking at using Make to do like a prepper YouTube prepper news type thing where it gets the
Hmm.
transcripts of multiple channels and some finds the similarities and he could do and creates a script for like this in today's news on YouTube preppers. Like
Yeah.
that's World War Three
It's
is
just
starting again.
World War III. Canadian Prepper continues to prepare us for World
Yes.
War III. City Prepping has a new solar battery box that he's talking about or something.
And
Uh,
he has so many of those things.
yeah.
He's like
Cup has a new PDF.
He's the Heisenberg of bad power banks, solar power battery.
Yeah. Daniel was saying we need Tup GPT.
GPT, yeah. Well,
Yep.
probably you could probably just train it with. We could probably get every single video I've ever done, train it with the transcript,
Yep.
and then it could probably just talk just like. I keep a consistent visual look, so I could probably have some kind of like Max Headroom style top bot.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one like I think it's Adobe or one of the companies has come out with where it'll like generate a podcast for you. So like
Cool.
come up with like whatever the question is, and then it will respond back in voice as if it is like multiple people having a conversation on a podcast episode. I
Wow.
was like, all right, at a certain point here, like we should just do that.
Yeah.
Just give up on this whole, hey, let's spend a half an hour together and just have AI do it for us.
Yeah.
Go into the matrix. Chuck was asking if we should do a live where I
I
just
saw that one.
go
That's a
through the
great
story
idea.
about the toys. I would like if there are people that were interested in it, I would go through I would do that. I would go through the thing because a lot of them are like there are some little stories attached to some of them. Some of them I just think look cool, but there are a lot of them that have kind of little stories and anecdotes
Yeah,
behind
I've had some questions on
what.
some of them, but yeah.
Like the Deadpool squirrel that's over there that's hiding behind the little cabin house.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't notice that one, but yeah, there's all sorts of like nice visual things to look at.
Yeah, and for the most part, like I have tried to, for the most part, like there's themes and I try like we have a bunch more in the house. Like I have like our whole like the downstairs of our house is actually like where like we have 2 bedrooms downstairs and kind of a basement. It's like a daylight ranch, so you walk out. And so the family room downstairs is bookshelves of basically the big Lego sets. That's where
Wow.
like the Death Star and the Disney Castle and the Ultimate Collector series display pieces, like all of those are down there. And then the kids each have Funkos in their room that are kind of have little stories, and my wife has some Funkos in her office that have little stories. So we try not to just buy them indiscriminately. We try to kind of get them to have like it's the Marie Kondo, like they bring us joy, sort of an idea.
Yeah, well, I think that's good. We should do that video at some point,
Yeah,
and I could ask questions, or it could be a solo one and just like.
yeah. No, we could do that. We'll do like a random live stream where we can go through
I
and
was
do all that.
curious if you have pest preps like for I have we've been having this problem for the past couple of
Yeah.
weeks where I don't know what kind of flies they are, but some kind of flies like all hatched at the same time and they like
Yes.
infiltrated my son's room and we've probably killed 70 of these things. Like they're
Yes. So
and
yes.
I don't have fly preps. So like, all I have is my electric swatter and I've been like just going to town on these guys, but I don't know if that's enough for fly preps or
Yeah. So I
pest
think
preps.
that is a very good idea. Like so for us,
Maybe I should
part
write.
of our pest preps is that we have a service that comes out and
Yeah, we do
sprays
too.
around our house and
But
stuff
they
because
don't I don't think they do the ones ours doesn't do like
yeah.
flying stuff. They do like
No, yeah, ours is much more. We have
bugs
a guy
and
come through to do yellow jackets and wasps, and we have a, a group that comes in and does like spiders and rodents and that sort of stuff because our house backs up to a wetland, so we have like mice and coyotes and all kinds of stuff back there. Um, I think one of the things that I have done is when we run into a pest issue, I try to get something that is a durable prep that we can use again. So we have like some fly strips and some of that sort of a couple mouse traps and that sort of stuff. But like we ended up having a random flea infestation at one point. Our cat goes out on the deck every once in a while. Um, we have never had fleas. Our previous cat didn't have fleas, but for whatever reason, there was a flea, and the deck is like 20 feet off the ground. It's like a second story deck, so it's not like he was out in the grass. Um, but in order to get rid of them, like I got the flea trap things and put them everywhere, like in every room of the house. And did that, but then I kept because they're like plastic reusable. So I got the reusable ones. I didn't get the one-time use ones. And so we have a box. So in case we ever run into a flea situation or something like that, we have those sitting in a tub.
yeah. I've been
I have
debating on making
ants.
a module for pest preps now because
Yeah,
I have my wrap module, but I don't have other ones.
we get like ants
Yes,
all
we
the
had those too.
every
That's
year.
crazy.
So I just have the liquid bait traps, and we just have like 3 or 4 boxes of those, and then we can just pull them out when we need them, or that. So I think it also depends on like where you live as to what pest likely you're going to run into.
Yeah,
So,
because I'm
you know,
sure,
if you're in
like,
the
in
south, there's like
Australia,
scorpions and
yeah.
stuff. Like, yeah, I don't have a scorpion prep,
No,
but you know,
I'm
ants,
not
flies.
prepared for these things, for a lot of these things, actually. I don't have bee preps. I have rat preps. I've mastered how to get those rats for, uh
Yeah,
have I told you about that one? Or I have,
the the rat. Do you go the bucket route or?
no, I go old school, huge things, but the problem is that they kept eating the bait off of it, and they're like masters of it. So they'll trip it, they'll put something on it, trip it off, and so now I wrap a half cooked bacon with pitcher wire frame, like pitcher
Hmm.
frame wire, and so they kind of have to yank at it, and then I get them every time with that. So like I've mastered the rats. Uh,
That is fantastic.
so I got them under control, but these freaking we had the ant problem where they were coming out of this outlet right by my where I sleep at the bed. Like they were just
Yeah,
coming out of this thing, and they're just going on the window, so we have no idea why. And I didn't have any preps for it. And then the same time, we had this fly infestation that happened where we have no idea how they were just coming in my son's room. He didn't want to sleep in the room, and I'm over there with this fly, electric fly swatter, just killing killing all these flies like by the dozen. But I didn't feel prepared for that either. So it's like this prepping never stops. Like, geez,
it doesn't. There's just another thing,
we're
and I
all
think
prepping
that
for zombies and stuff, and I'm trying to get these ants and flies.
you know what? When the zombies come, we'll use the little fly lights to bring them over and off a cliff or something. Um, I think I got a bunch of like they were like rechargeable camping lights with little bug zappers attached to them. I don't remember if they were like a Costco thing or a Cabela's thing that where I found them. I think they might have been Costco
Mhm.
because most of my prep ideas come from Costco. Um, but so we got those. Those have worked pretty well for certain flying things. Um, but yeah, I think I would look into like you get with some basics like the cheap fly strips and some of that sort of stuff. It's like okay, worst case scenario, they take up a lot of space and they're easy to and they're not expensive.
Yes,
But then
I've never
you
even
know,
thought about having an indoor like fly zapper, like the light thing. That's probably makes sense.
I mean, we didn't get it for that. I mean, I got it for our tents when we went camping. But
I gotta
the
look it up
same
after
logic would apply in a house is okay, you just hang it up in a room and it would be a little bug zapper. Um, but yeah, I would look at some of that sort of stuff. Especially if you know that these are things that are going to come back, then I would go a little more hardcore and invest in something that's a little sturdier or a little longer term,
Okay,
multi-use sort
yeah,
of an idea.
so they have indoor bug zappers.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Um, I guess it also depends too on like what kind of fly
I don't
is
know
it?
what they were.
Like
They were like, kinda sleepy flies. Like, most of these flies have better
sleepy
jukes.
fly.
They're like they're like, Kyrie Irving of the fly, like, they just have, like,
Hmm.
these and I can't get them. But these ones were like these were slow moving flies, and I was able to do my thing with
Yeah, and I think some of that stuff, like getting the bug zapper racket thing, is good because that'll work for a variety of things.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I,
I'm a little worried because my son, like, seemed to enjoy using the zapper, like, and I did too, actually. Like,
yeah, that's one of those things where then you got to like make sure
when
that
is that a red flag? When do we
when you hear his sister running down the hall being like, "I'm not a fly," then
Well, we were like,
maybe we.
yeah, we had sometimes we had choices where we could use the vacuum and just suck them up into the vacuum, or we could use the zapper, and we always chose the zapper because we felt they needed to pay for their for investing.
Here's the deal. I feel the same way about spiders, and I feel like that is a
I don't have
thing.
spider preps, like, at all. Like,
Oh, I have. So like we have like some sprays and stuff. Like
yeah,
I've got sprays for spiders and stuff. We have the house sprayed because
yeah, we do too.
we got so many of them. But yeah, I feel like spiders are one of those things, especially because when I get bitten by a spider, I have a pretty significant allergic reaction. And so I don't love it. And so I feel like they're welcome to be out in the world. I'm not going to, destroy them in their natural habitat, but they were not invited to our house. And
Yes.
so,
I've
if
been trying
they
to
are going
save
to
them.
come,
I wonder if there's
yeah,
now I'm
I
gonna have to look, like, do they
vacuum
have,
them
like
up
you do?
on site.
They
Yes.
meet their maker. Okay.
Well, and if because sometimes, like, even if you have like a vacuum, like they may survive in the vacuum. So sometimes, like, I have been known to put like rainbow sprinkles into the vacuum as well, to be like little rainbow bullets, just to make sure that, like, that spider is not coming out of the top to bite me in the middle of the night.
Yeah. My
I
son's
think that
terrified of
probably
spiders.
I'll probably get canceled for that, but like that
Now,
is just
do they have like I've never looked any of this stuff up, but I've been trying
yeah,
to save the spiders because they're good for killing other things. They
yeah.
just went to the wrong area of the house, and so. But do they have like easy catch and release spider things? Like I don't know.
I have seen some, especially like they make like little bug catcher things for kids, with
Yeah.
the idea being that, like, oh, you're going to catch the bug and look at it for science. I think you can probably use the same thing, but they're little like cups, or with like a handle on it, and then it slides a thing underneath it to like catch the whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah, because every time that we'll usually get like a cup and then like a piece of paper, but the paper kind of it moves, and so that they could slide out of there. And so like I need like a solid transparent thing.
Yeah, like we have
Zevo
like
traps. Okay.
worms, like we have worm bins, we have chickens, we have honeybees, we have mason bees. Like, we are all for nature and being positive and all that. Yellow jackets, wasps, and spiders. Um, Anywhere around. Yellow jackets anywhere in our yard are immediately no. And I put a perimeter around of the
Let's see
little bug
Zevo.
zapper things. Yeah, that would be cool.
Is that what the
Um,
that's what people are recommend Daniel, I think, recommended that?
yeah. I
Nice.
put the little yellow jacket traps like all along our fence, as like a barrier to entry, for them coming over into our yard. And then spiders, yeah, we spray for all of them. But
Yeah.
everything else is fine. And if we see spiders in the yard, that's totally cool too. Just don't come in the house and bite me on the leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a new wish list for pest preps.
I think it's a great idea.
I like it. And I didn't know about that Zevo. What is it called? Zevo pest preps. Cool. I'm learning all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
So it
got
looks
all
like
kinds.
it looks like the Zevo is good for flies and for gnats and mosquitoes. That's great. Now,
Yep.
what are my spider preps? I know some people have those salt. What is it? The salt shotgun things. The sorry, algorithm.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that little salt gun thing.
yes,
I mean, that's what they're like. I think they're called like salt guns or something.
yes.
But they have like,
I don't know if those are just for if those actually work or not. But yeah, for
yeah,
in the Northwest, what we don't get like snake. At least I don't get snakes. So it's spiders,
yep,
flies,
yep.
uh, uh,
Mosquitoes,
ants,
yeah,
mosquitoes,
and
and
yellow jackets.
yeah, and yellow jackets. And do yellow jackets even serve a purpose in the world? Is
No,
it
they do not.
because
I
mosquitoes
have
technically, like other animals, rely on them for food? So I guess technically,
Yes, yes.
but
Mosquito. From everything I have read, seen, found, like, there are lots of beneficial bees.
yes,
Honeybees, yes. Bumblebees, yes. Mason bees, leafcutter bees, all of that.
yellow
Yellow
jackets are just
jackets and
jerks.
wasps
Yeah.
don't serve any sort of beneficial purpose. And so I have the yellow jacket spray, that it's a 25-foot stream.
Wow.
So, because we would get yellow jacket nests, because they would come from the wetlands, and then they would build their nests either in the ground, by our deck, or they would build them in the eave of the outside of our house. So we'd go out to, like, you know, do barbecue or something, and there'd be, three different yellow jacket nests. And so I got the spray, and I can knock, like, it'll kill them instantly and knock the nest down like from 25 feet away, which is
Wow.
fantastic.
They say that the salt Pew Pew works. I'm trying to have to. I
Yep.
don't want the algorithm to get mad at us, but yeah,
Well, yeah, exactly.
I think. I think I need to get that because then we can make it a fun event, and
Well, yeah,
and
exactly.
no one feels sorry for like especially those yellow jackets. But
Yeah.
we
The
haven't had
only
a
thing
problem
with the
with
yellow jackets on the salt thing is like you'd have to get like
a
the
lot of them.
reason I like the spray is because it splashes,
Yeah.
like it streams and splashes. So I can cover an area and it will make their wings wet. So like they can't really fly and they can't, as opposed to, I don't know what sort of impact that would do, but it might just make them mad.
Ooh, Daniel has a bounty for bugs. I paid
Yeah,
my kid 25 cents per dead spider and fly. Man, that's a good rate.
that'd be a great rate in art where like
Because
there's so many
I
spiders.
killed about 70 of those
Yeah,
flies. So,
exactly. Should send Daniel an invoice.
yeah, I'm gonna send the invoice over.
Yeah.
Or maybe you'll have like like a SWAT team of people with the salt the salt things that they come into the house and they take out all these. That'd be super. That's probably the most tactical thing that we've done. So if we make a video on it,
I think that would probably be true.
yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, I have to go pick up the youngest child from
Okay.
play practice. So we are gonna call it an evening. I think we started with no plan, and I think we covered like two really
Actually,
good
we could
ideas.
keep going on this. I started a wish list, and I also
Okay.
made it something in my notepad to talk about on my commute home.
You know
So
what
yeah,
we
that
need
was good.
is we need ChatGPT to do
So,
and then give us the next week's like
yeah,
rundown.
it should summarize what we talked about and then have suggestions for the following week.
Exactly. All right.
We
I'll
have the
work on that
technology.
this
We have
week.
the
Let me
technology.
see what I can. Yeah, let me see
I
what I
thought
can do with that.
next
I
week
like that idea.
I have a I'm going to the Seattle Mariners game next Wednesday, so we have to
All right.
figure out an alternative date. I think
We'll work
Tuesday,
around it.
Tuesday,
We'll figure it.
Thursday. Yeah, those are all good.
All right.
Celebrate
Cool.
I celebrate all the days.
You do. You
Yes.
do. And that's very thoughtful of you. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We will see you probably next week, not on Wednesday. And we'll go from there. All right.
Cool.